I know the routine. Let's get the legal stuff out the way. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Okay, we're gonna keep that up there in the corner. And hold on, our commercial's gonna come on first.
The unknown is not empty.
Oh, F you, lady.
It's a
Okay, here we go. All right, so today, for the testimony that I'm reading now, is the girl Jane, which is Sparkle's niece, but they call her Jane in there, and that is the girl from the infamous P tape, or the girl that got peed on in the video, but I'll refer to it as the P tape. All right. So the girl, if you want to know the girl's name, there's plenty of people in the comments. They will always tell you her name. I refer to her as Jane because that's how the prosecution is doing it, to protect her identity, even down to the sketch artist is, drawing her as a blank face and different color hair. But trust, that the people in the comments, they got you. If you have any any questions as to what her name is. But she do stay on in the case that she is Sparkle niece. So if you know who Sparkle niece is and you know who Sparkle's sister is, this is their daughter. Now, today, Sparkle's sister testified in court, who is the mother of the girl in the video, who in 2002 testified that that was not her daughter. She said that was not her daughter, and she testified that her daughter testified that it wasn't her, and the father testified it wasn't her. But today, for some strange reason, R. Kelly's broke, and it seems like a lot of people have a different story. So let me give you a quick breaking news update what happened in court today, because we will catch up to that and we will read those transcripts. But right now we had James, the girl from the P tapes, testimony. And if you've been following us for the last few days, then you are up to speed. If not, I will be uploading them and dropping them in parts, so you ain't got to watch the whole 4 hours. So, starting today, I'll put up the first part leading into, which will be tomorrow. You'll get all the testimony by people in parts. Okay. So now tonight we will continue with Jane. This is part 4 of us doing it because these testimonies are long. I didn't graduate from Harvard, so I don't read through it like no. Okay. I do the best that I can do. And those who have a problem with it, I got something for you to eat. Okay. Now, the mother testified today, and with her testifying today, this is what happened. And remember, we still under the fair use.
key witness taking the stand late this afternoon.
We just heard from the mother of the young woman at the center of the child pornography case. CBS 2's Tara Molina is live at the courthouse with that late-breaking testimony. And Tara, we want to warn viewers, some of the testimony is graphic.
Right, Erica and Jim, this woman is going by Susan, and she's the mother of the pivotal witness in this case. That's Jane. She says she first met R. Kelly through her sister, Stephanie, who was a musician working with Kelly at the time. Susan says she met Kelly at a concert her daughter Jane was performing at, just 14 years old at that time. That's when Jane first met Kelly, too, introduced by her sister Stephanie, Jane's aunt, who again was working with Kelly back then. The next time Susan met Kelly, at the recording studio when the family went to support Stephanie. Shortly after that, she says she learned her daughter had asked R. Kelly to be her godfather. When asked by prosecutors how she felt about that, Susan said she felt kind of strange. Why? She said because she knew her sister Stephanie told Jane to ask Kelly. Jane testified that it was shortly after she asked Kelly to be her godfather, their relationship became sexual. When asked by prosecutors about how things changed after her daughter asked Kelly to be her godfather, Susan says she started going to Kelly's house a lot with his wife and kids, mostly on the weekends. When asked what she believed Jane was doing at the house with Kelly, Susan said movies, shopping, hanging out with the kids. Earlier today, we also heard testimony from a special agent with the IRS who detailed about $79,000 in payments made to Susan and her late husband, Brandon, on behalf of Kelly's companies. We'll have more on that and more from Susan coming up in our live report at 6 o'clock. For now, reporting live inside Dirksen Federal Courthouse, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
See you at 6, Tara.
With the mission of helping the city's homeless and at-risk community.
Now, hold on a second.
Facing expensive vitamin C creams with dull.
Got another update. All right, we got an update, y'all. Check.
The man who says he paid what?
Another key witness took the stand today in day 7 of the R. Kelly federal trial here in Chicago.
We heard from the man who says he was paid by Kelly and his team to recover sex tapes featuring Kelly and an underage girl. CBS 2's Tara Molina is joining us with those details. And Tara, some disturbing information in court today.
Jim and Erica, disturbing, and we want to warn all of you about that. The entire testimony today revolving around child pornography tapes and payoffs. The man testifying, Charles Freeman, was granted an immunity deal by the government to go on the record. He not only knew about the nature of the tapes he was paid to retrieve and recover, but made copies of them himself to be sure he'd be paid. And he kept those copies for years. Charles Freeman testified he started working with R. Kelly in the 90s, doing merchandising for Kelly's concert tours. He said the two became friends, a relationship that changed when he says Kelly called him in 2001, telling him he wanted him to recover some tapes. Ultimately, Freeman said he verbally negotiated a $1 million payout in exchange for the original tape, but only $140,000 in a written contract. Freeman says within days he traveled to Atlanta to an address provided by Kelly's team with 2 men Testifying, a young lady came to the door. He told her he was there to recover the expletive tapes you stole from Robert Kelly. She put her hands up and pointed him in the right direction. He left with 3 tapes. Only one was a tape involving Kelly. He then went to a Walmart and purchased a VCR recorder and blank tapes, making copies because he didn't trust Kelly's team to pay him. Freeman testified, observing in the tape he recovered and copied Kelly having sex with a young girl, urinating on her, and putting lotion on her face. He said you can hear both Kelly and the girl refer to her body parts as 14 years old. He never called the police. Prosecutors asked why. At one point, he said, quote, because the police wasn't going to pay me $1 million. In 2019, Freeman turned the copies over to his attorney after an attorney
Now, Freeman's demands for all aid. Freeman turned the copies over to his attorney after he never called the police.
Hold on for a minute. So you tell me this slime bucket was sent to retrieve the tapes. And not only do he go get the tapes back, and he get paid to go get the tapes, he go and make copies of them, made copies of child pornography. How do y'all not lock him up? Oh, y'all gave him immunity to come up here and say he made copies of child pornography. But as long as he testify and say that on the stand, he could walk. This nigga supposed to be going to jail too. He's supposed to be going to jail too. If he got the originals, that's where it could have came all. He could have distributed it all around the world.
Prosecutors asked why. At one point, copies because he didn't trust Kelly with 2 men. Testifying, a young lady came to the door. He told her he was there to recover the expletive tapes
you stole from Robert Kelly. She put her hands up and pointed him in the right direction. He left with 3 tapes. Only one was a tape involving Kelly. He then went to a Walmart and purchased a VCR recorder and blank tapes, making copies because he didn't trust Kelly's team to pay him. Freeman testified, observing in the tape he recovered and copied Kelly having sex with a young girl, urinating on her, and putting lotion on her face. He said you can hear both Kelly and the girl refer to her body parts as 14 years old. He never called the police. Prosecutors asked why. At one point, he said, quote, because the police wasn't going to pay me $1 million. In 2019, Freeman turned the copies over to his attorney after an attorney reached him about holding child porn for Robert Kelly. And that's what led to his involvement in this trial. Now, Freeman's demands for all of the money owed continued for years. He was paid in installments all the way up to and after the 2008 trial where Kelly was acquitted. We expect cross-examination to start tomorrow morning. Defense attorneys will question Freeman in the testimony we heard today. And it could get heated. In their opening statements, they called him a con man and an extortionist. Reporting live in the newsroom, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Tara.
Okay, one more update, y'all. Just one more update. This is so we are up to speed with what went on, yesterday and today.
R. Kelly. Dramatic testimony late this afternoon from another key witness. This time, the mother of the alleged victim at the center of the child pornography case. And a warning, some of the testimony is disturbing. CBS 2's Tara Molina is live outside the courthouse. Tara.
Erica, this woman is going by Susan, and she's the mother of the pivotal witness in this case, Jane. Testifying here today, she denied knowing anything was going on, any sexual relationship between her then 14-year-old daughter and Kelly, when Jane started spending more and more time with him. Again, we want to warn you, some of this could be disturbing. Susan, taking the stand for the first time, promised anonymity. The sketch of her in court has been obscured. Susan testified she and her 14-year-old daughter met Kelly at a local high school where Jane was performing, introduced by her sister, Jane's aunt. When she learned her daughter had asked R. Kelly to be her godfather, Susan testified she felt kind of strange. When asked why, she said because she knew her sister told Jane to ask Kelly that. Last week, Jane testified it was shortly after she asked Kelly to be her godfather, their relationship became sexual. Susan said her daughter started going to Kelly's house a lot with his wife and kids, mostly on the weekends. When asked what she believed Jane was doing at the house, Susan said movies, shopping, hanging out with the kids. Prosecutors say Jane and her parents were paid and threatened by Kelly and his team so they wouldn't testify at the 2008 trial. Susan spoke to those threats, detailing the meeting arranged in Oak Park, where she says she first learned of her daughter's sexual relationship with the singer about 2 weeks after the Department of Children and Family Services reached them. Susan said at that meeting, Kelly asked her and her husband, "Are you with us or are you not?" and felt that meant they were going to harm us, saying she felt both fearful and frightened. They were sent out of the country by Kelly and his team right after that meeting. When asked about the grand jury she lied to after getting back from that trip, Susan admitted she did not identify her daughter Jane in photos and videos shown to the grand jury, even though she knew it was her, but did identify R. Kelly. In cross-examination, Kelly's lead attorney asked Susan about a number of visits she made alone to Kelly's recording studio after meeting him, directly asking her about an intimate relationship she had with Kelly. Susan denied that intimate relationship and said she was making those visits to talk about business and get advice from Kelly. Reporting live outside the federal courthouse, I'm Tara Molina, CBS 2 News.
Tara, thank you.
The $6 your way deal at Burger.
And all those clips was used under fair use, under the section of 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. So, according to the defense, R. Kelly was smashing the mother, the sister, and the daughter. That nigga, he made Billy D. Williams look like Shabba Ranks. That nigga's sleeping with two sisters and the mother. They need to put that nigga on People Magazine, the most handsomest man alive, God damn it. God damn. Woo! Of course the mother going to deny it, but if you was going to meet him for business, why you ain't have your husband with you? Okay then, lady. We know what time it is, lady. You think Sparkle popping off, your daughter popping off, and we gonna believe you ain't getting none. Okay. That nigga R. Kelly, boy. That nigga R. Kelly ain't never seen the coochie he didn't like. I bet you R. Kelly had more sex than Will Chamberlain. I bet you R. Kelly had more women than Will Chamberlain. How many Will Chamberlain said he had? Like 1 million? I think he said he slept with like 1 million women. R. Kelly had at least 3 million. That nigga was knocking down 3 in one household. God damn. Damn, R. Kelly. You hit the mama too?